Have you ever felt like you were being watched deep in the woods? That unsettling sensation creeping down your spine when the trees seem just a little too quiet? Well, this group of friends experienced exactly that, and what they discovered along that forest trail will haunt them forever. Hey everyone, welcome back to Scary Tales, the place where real-life horror, paranormal encounters, and chilling mysteries come to life. If you love true scary stories that send shivers down your spine, you're in the right place. Today's story comes from a remote hiking trail nestled deep within the dense forests of Oregon. What started as a fun getaway quickly spiraled into a terrifying ordeal as whispers echoed through the trees, whispers that didn't belong to anyone in their group. It was early fall of 2021. The leaves had just started turning shades of red and orange, and the crisp mountain air carried the unmistakable scent of pine and earth. Four friends, Alex, Josh, Rachel, and Mia, decided to spend the weekend exploring the Black Hollow Trail, a lesser-known hiking route just outside Bend, Oregon. The trail was infamous among locals, known for its breathtaking views, but also whispered tales of strange happenings. But the group? They weren't the superstitious type. They laughed off the eerie stories, chalking them up to small-town legends meant to scare tourists. The first few hours were typical, snapping photos, sharing jokes, and enjoying the quiet isolation of the woods. But by late afternoon, things started to shift. It began with soft whispers, faint, almost inaudible, like a distant conversation carried by the wind. They paused, thinking maybe another group of hikers was nearby. But the trail had been empty all day. Then came the shadows, fleeting movements at the edges of their vision, vanishing the moment they turned their heads, and that growing feeling that they weren't alone. By sunset, the forest felt different. The temperature dropped suddenly. The trees towering overhead seemed to lean inward, closing them off from the outside world. The whispers returned, clearer this time. It wasn't the wind. They could make out fragments of words, unintelligible, garbled, but undeniably human. It sent a wave of unease through the group. Josh, trying to lighten the mood, joked, "Probably some TikTok pranksters messing with us." But his voice betrayed his own nervousness. As night crept in, they heard rustling behind them, heavy footsteps, snapping twigs, but every time they turned around, there was nothing. Suddenly, Mia froze, her eyes wide, face pale. In the thick brush, just beyond the trail, stood a shadowy figure, impossibly still, tall, featureless. They all saw it, and just as quickly as it appeared, it was gone. Panic set in. Their flashlights flickered. The whispers grew louder, overlapping, circling them. Disembodied voices whispering from the trees. "Turn back. You shouldn't be here." Animals howled in the distance. Unfamiliar, guttural sounds. Not coyotes, not bears. Something else. They picked up their pace, practically running down the twisting trail, hearts pounding, the sense of being watched tightening like a noose. They didn't stop until they reached the parking lot, breathless, disoriented, and terrified. The whispers ceased the moment they crossed the tree line, like someone flicked a switch. For days after, they couldn't shake the feeling. Nightmares, phantom whispers in the dead of night, shadows lurking in their peripheral vision. They never went back to Black Hollow Trail. Alex later found an old forum post, a thread filled with similar experiences. Whispers, shadows, vanishing figures. Some hikers went missing entirely. The locals had a name for it: the forest's whispering terror, an old legend of lost souls trapped in the woods, luring the curious off the trail, never to return. The group couldn't explain what happened. They weren't the superstitious type before, but now They understood the warnings, and the truth that some places are meant to be left alone. What do you think really happened on that trail? Was it just a shared hallucination fueled by fear? Or did they cross paths with something otherworldly? If you've ever had a chilling encounter or felt an unseen presence in the woods, drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. And remember, the unknown holds power. Respect the unseen. Stay curious, but stay safe. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Scary Tales, and share it with your friends, especially the brave ones. We've got more real-life horror stories and unexplained encounters coming your way. Until next time, watch the woods and listen for the whispers. Imagine the eerie stillness of a forest at night, broken only by the whispers of the wind through the pines. Now imagine a chilling presence watching your every move. This is the nightmare that unfolded for a group of friends who dared to venture into the whispering pines. Welcome back to Scary Tales, where real-life horror meets the unknown. Today, we explore the terrifying true story of a camping trip gone wrong in the infamous Whispering Pines forest, tucked away in the heart of Washington state. Locals whisper about the place. Towering pines stretch endlessly into the sky, their branches creaking like old bones. Strange disappearances, shadowy figures, and the whispers, always the whispers, drifting through the trees after dark. 4 friends, Kevin, Marcus, Jess, and Emily, weren't ones to believe in ghost stories. Seasoned hikers, adventure seekers. They thought Whispering Pines was just another challenge. They were wrong. It started like any ordinary trip. A clear autumn afternoon, their truck parked at the forest's edge. Aerial views would show a sea of green stretching for miles, the pines swaying gently, the ground carpeted with fallen needles and moss. They set up camp deep within the woods, laughing by the fire, telling stories as darkness crept in. But as night fell, an unsettling feeling set in. The wind carried more than just cold air, faint whispers, too quiet to make out, yet impossible to ignore. Leaves rustled without reason, shadows shifted just beyond the flickering firelight. Then Jess's flashlight vanished. They searched the area, only to find it meters away, smashed to pieces. Brushed off as clumsiness, they tried to laugh it off, but tension settled in, heavy and cold. The night grew darker, and so did the forest's presence. The fire flickered unnaturally, though no wind blew. Their lanterns dimmed. Whispers drifted closer, circling them like unseen predators. Objects moved on their own, a backpack tossed across the campsite, their tent's zipper slowly lowering. By itself. That's when they saw it. A figure, tall, impossibly thin, lurking between the trees. Its face hidden, its presence suffocating. Emily screamed, but by the time they shined their lights, the figure was gone, replaced only by the haunting sound of whispers. Louder now, angry, inhuman. The friends tried to reason with themselves. Maybe wildlife, a prank. But deep down, fear bloomed, and trust fractured. Panic rising, they debated leaving, but the forest wasn't ready to let them go. Kevin, an amateur paranormal enthusiast, pulled out his EVP recorder. Desperation pushing him to communicate with whatever haunted the woods. They asked simple questions. The response? Static. A whisper so clear it chilled them to the bone. Stay. Terrified, they dug deeper, researching the forest's tragic past, a tale of a hiker lost decades ago, never found. Her spirit believed to haunt the pines, her whispers luring others to share her fate. The friends realized this wasn't just a lost soul, it was something darker, feeding on fear, thriving in isolation. With adrenaline and terror as their only weapons, they packed up and fled, the whispers chasing them, echoing through the trees until the forest finally spat them out into the safety of their vehicle. They escaped the Whispering Pines physically, but the forest never truly let them go. Even now, months later, they hear whispers outside their windows. Shadows linger in their dreams. They never went back. They never will. As a seasoned outdoorsman, I've seen my share of strange occurrences in the woods, but nothing compares to this chilling tale, a reminder that some places hide secrets better left buried. The whispering pines still stand, their dark canopy swaying, their whispers drifting, waiting for the next curious soul to wander too deep. What do you think? Is it an old legend, or something darker stalking those woods? If you've had your own unexplained encounter, share your story below. And remember, when the forest whispers, it's already watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more real horror, only here on Scary Tales.